All right, this is part 2 of the business vocabulary series. Hans and I did another skit for you guys, and after this skit, I'm gonna break down the idioms, the phrases, and the words, and go over them in more detail and explain a little bit better their meaning. So I hope you guys enjoy. Ooh, Hans, quick word.
Actually, I'm a little bit pressed for time right now. Maybe a little bit later.
Yeah, no, get in here.
Okay.
So, you know that we have the deadline coming up on that project for Aurora, and we're all going to be working against the clock on this one. So
I'm sorry, but I just don't see how this is any of my responsibility. This is not even my department.
Hans, let me cut you off there. You are a salaried employee here, and you're on an H-1B1 visa, and that visa is reliant on you keeping this job. So I suggest you do your part, okay?
Actually, departments, there's no such thing. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? I'm happy to take on this.
Stacy from HR is going to send you over some paperwork, and I expect to have it on my desk by the end of the day, all right?
Mr. Bossman, just as you had requested, I put my heart and soul into this, so...
Wow, Hans, this is really good. And you got that done really quick. Your job is safe here. For now.
That's so kind of you. Have a great weekend. All right. Thank you, ChatGPT.
Ooh, Hans, quick word.
Actually, I'm a little bit pressed for time right now. Maybe a little bit later.
When he calls Hans in to have a quick word, he just wants to talk to him immediately, and it doesn't mean he just wants to speak to him for a few seconds, like a 5-10 second quick conversation. It might even take a long time. He's just saying, I want to talk with you now, and what I have to say is important. So whenever someone says this, can I have a quick word? Whatever they are talking to you about, at least that person feels is very important. And then Hans saying that he's pressed for time means that he doesn't have time for a quick word. If you're pressed for time, it means you're really busy. You don't have time to do anything else. You're in a hurry, whether it's with work, it could be like some daily task that you need to get done. But when Hans is passing by, obviously Hans does not look busy, but he's saying this as a way, he's kind of exaggerating, being facetious. He's saying, I just don't want to go in and talk to my boss. So he's pressed for time. Yeah, no, get in here.
Okay.
So, you know that we have the deadline coming up on that project for Aurora, and we're all going to be working against the clock on this one. So a deadline is just the latest date that something can be done. So in this case, when he says the deadline for this project, he's talking about the last date that this can be completed. So if the deadline is April 18th, that just means by April 17th, they need to have this project done. So a project is just an individual or a collaborative enterprise that is carefully planned to achieve a particular aim. This is the definition. But really, when someone says they're doing a project at work, just think of it as something that they're having to work on. Generally, projects are with groups of people, unless you're working on an individual project, and you're having to present this as a way to show maybe data or numbers or achieve something, some goal for the company. Whenever we use this expression against the clock, it means that, for instance, their deadline is here and they're here and they have lots of work to get done. So they're racing or working against the clock, meaning they don't have a whole lot of time to do this project. That's why he's asking for people to work extra. So it's almost always used like you're racing against the clock. It's not like, oh, I have a lot of time, I can work against the clock. It's always you're in a rush to do something.
I'm sorry, but I just don't see how this is any of my responsibility. This is not even my department.
Hans, let me cut you off there. You are a salaried employee here, and you're on an H-1B1 visa. And that visa is reliant on you keeping this job. So I suggest you do your part, okay? So department is just the division of this business that deals with a specific task or area. So it's not in this video, I didn't talk about what department Hans was part of, but you have your sales department, you have the HR department, you have the accounting department, you have some businesses, the bigger the business, the more departments they're gonna have. So not every business is gonna have the same ones, but that's just to give you an idea of the different, what a department is. So whenever someone cuts someone off, or I'm gonna cut you off, they're saying like, all right, you're done, now it's my turn to talk. So a boss can do this, but this is not something you wanna do as if you're the employee. Even the boss in this case, it's always a little bit rude, but since they're your superior, he can't really do anything. A salaried employee. So Hans is a salaried employee, meaning that he doesn't get paid hourly, which would be an hourly employee. He gets paid like the same amount every 2 weeks. Like let's say that his salary is $60,000 a year. That means that he gets paid the same amount regardless of the work hours that he has each week. Most of the time, it's going to be in the contract that you have to work a certain amount of hours every week, whether it's 40 or 50, depending on the company. But it's much different than hourly, where you could work 40 one week and then maybe 30 the next week, and that's going to affect your pay. Whereas a salaried employee, if the company allows it, they're still going to make the same amount of money, whether they work 40 hours or 30 hours. Reliant. So this means that he is depending on this visa. He has to have this visa, like I just mentioned, to stay in the United States. He needs this job. So if he's reliant on this visa and this job to stay in the United States, he depends on it. It is the reason that he's there.
Actually, departments, there's no such thing. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? I'm happy to take on this.
Stacy from HR is going to send you over some paperwork, and I expect to have it on my desk by the end of the day, all right?
When he says teamwork makes the dream work, he's saying that working together as a team makes everything easier. He says that he's going to take this on. It means that he is willing to undertake this task or this responsibility. So paperwork is just written documents, reports, or letters, routine parts of business.
Mr. Bossman, just as you had requested, I put my heart and soul into this, so...
Wow, Hans, this is really good. And you got that done really quick. Your job is safe here. For now.
Ah, that's so kind of you. Have a great weekend. All right. Thank you, ChatGPT.
Put your heart and soul into your work. That means you're not doing anything else. All of your focus, all of your attention, you might be, he's exaggerating here, obviously, but this would mean staying well overtime. You're working from home. You might be losing sleep just to complete this task for this project, to put your heart and soul into something. And when he says your job is safe here, means like, we're not going to fire you, at least for now. Your job is yours. There's no threat of getting fired at this time.
All right, that's it for the video today. Did you guys already know some of these words and phrases? Was this helpful? Let me know in the comments below.